There are moments in Scripture when God speaks, and there are moments when God repeats himself. So let's see what we're dealing with today as we dive into Luke chapter 1, verses 13 through 17. Now, the first thing to note is that Zechariah and his wife are old, childless, and long past the age for bearing children. And Gabriel's promise that Elizabeth is going to bear a son seems a little bit misplaced. But this proclamation, it doesn't come in new language. It comes in familiar language. In fact, it comes in the exact same language God used when he spoke to Abraham and Sarah in Genesis chapter 17, verse 19. Now, standing in the holy place, Zechariah is experiencing the same pattern. A barren couple, advanced in years, a divine announcement, a promised son, and a God-given name. That's not coincidence. That's continuity. And I love this next part. Gabriel states that Zechariah and Elizabeth's son will go before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah. Now, for the modern reader, Elijah calls to mind a prophet who confronted King Ahab and Jezebel, took on the Baal priests at Mount Carmel, called down fire from heaven. And while those things are definitely true, Zechariah would have heard something more. You see, for a first century Jew, Elijah carried a much deeper and more future-oriented expectation. In Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 through 6, God says this, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and awesome day of the Lord. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to their fathers." And earlier in Malachi chapter 3, verse 1, God says, "Behold, I send my messenger, and he will prepare the way before me." Gabriel is combining these two prophecies, pointing to John, who will fulfill them both. And Zechariah and Elizabeth's boy would not just be an answer to their prayers, but an answer to God's unfolding promises. And Luke wants us to see that the gospel is not something new, but something profoundly familiar. It's a story where God continues to make good on his promises. So what about you? Are you trusting the unfolding story of your life and the promises God has made for you? You see, the God who remembered his promises to Abraham, who acted in his perfect timing through Zechariah and Elizabeth, is the same God before you today. And for those of you who have chosen to follow him, there is a work at play in you. Just consider what Paul writes in Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. "I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." So what God initiates, he sustains. What he promises, he faithfully brings to fulfillment. This is not a band-aid verse. It is deep theology. So are you trusting his faithfulness in your life? You should be.